Hi everyone, Lidia's Kiddies here, and today we're going to talk about stacking blocks. Now, stacking block is a version of a pyramid. I have a video about the pyramids, so if you want to check it out, please go have a look. This is the very first one you want to introduce to your child. They'll play with it for a little bit, and then what you really want to do is to move on to something like that. Now, what is the most important point about these ones? As you can see, the majority of stacking blocks you find online are actually circle in cross section, whilst this one is square. And this is a slightly more complicated set. They have different sort of animals here in the base, so you can play with them, in the playground, and you can also match them with the remaining part of the set. But an important part about them being square is that unlike the circle ones, which would fit no matter which way they go, these would only stack up if they're aligned correctly, right? So if your child is turning it this way, they will not go in, which is not the case with the round ones. With the round ones, no matter how you position them, they will still fit in. So it's much easier, of course, and you can buy those as well to start off, but inevitably you want to move on to these ones because they require a little bit more skill and a little bit more coordination, which is very important because that's what you want to develop with these kind of stacking blocks. What you want them to be able to see is to understand the positioning, right? So, and when you play with them, you do the same. First of all, you don't start with a whole pyramid. You only take a couple of them. Probably start with smaller ones because the more ergonomic they are, the better. The easier it is for the baby to hold them, the better it is, because it's a bit more of a human size for them. You don't really want to start with huge ones. And then what you want them to do, you want to tell them, look, you take this, you put this in here, and you position it. And you're probably thinking they do not understand what you're talking about, which is quite true, but you want to tell them that they need to pay attention as to how the object is positioned. And of course, they'll start banging it like this first, which is totally fine. What you want to do is you want to tell them first what to look at. So you tell them, look, see there's a square here, there's a square here, we're trying to align it. And then you want to help them to actually put it in. And 5, 6, 7, 10 attempts, and they will get it, and they will get how to put them together. Now, as they start getting a small set like this, so you start with, 3 or 4, you can introduce bigger ones. So it's always the question of doing the right quantity to start with. You want to start with a few, and you want to grow the volume. And then eventually they should be able to put all of this together. You can put this as a pyramid. So these stacking blocks go upside down and stack up like this, so you can build them up. Again, unlike the circle one, they need to be aligned correctly in order to stand by themselves. When the baby is still small and it's quite difficult for them to put them in, you want to sort of hold the pyramid just to make sure they feel the sense of achievement, because otherwise it will keep falling. But you do want to make sure they're trying to align it correctly. And then as they grow older, they would be able to do it themselves without you actually holding the pyramid itself. Now, what you might notice is once your child is comfortable with putting this together, they would just do it by color. So they would remember that orange follows the red, and yellow follows the orange, and green, and so forth. This one is pretty good because there are some repetition of colors, so they can't just cheat and just remember the colors and put them in. But there are also some sets where the colors actually repeat. So every third one would be red, and every second one would be yellow, and so forth, which are much better. I couldn't really find them online available in the UK, but I've seen them elsewhere, and I think these would be great once you're done with these ones. So as soon as this one is mastered, then what you'd want to do is to move on to the other ones, so they literally do it just by size rather than remembering the colors. So this is a great set. I'll link out some of the products in the description. You can have a look at them. There'll be some round ones. I'll try and find some square ones as well. I found it quite difficult to find it in the UK. But if you do see them anywhere, in any kids shops, square ones are really good because they do make your child pay more attention and do better hand and eye coordination and all of that. That's it for today. This is the pyramid. Like I said, there's another video, much simpler pyramids like this one, so have a look at this, and then once your child is comfortable doing this, move on to this one. Thank you, and see you soon.